for checking out this co-stream, if you're watching the past broadcast, of the Xbox Developer Direct of 2024. You'll want to skip ahead by 28 minutes if you are watching the past broadcast to see what we're going to hear from Machine Games, Obsidian, Oxide, as well as Ninja Theory. We are also hearing there's going to be like a 5th surprise game. I'm really hoping just to primarily see lots of uncut gameplay and release dates. That matters to me the most in pretty much all of these events. So if you guys are in the members thing that we were previously doing, be sure to click that link and come over with the redirect. Make sure and smash the like button when you get over here. I am going to end that stream and bring folks over. There we go. Ooh. And then I'll just tweet the thumbnail. We didn't do a short video, and I'll just say link in bio. Post. There we go. In case anybody has the announcements room muted. Okay. There we go. Already 50 something likes. Guys, thank you so much for coming over and smashing that like button. You all are the best. Mega Lurking got a meeting to attend to. Nice. All right. And then let me make sure. Volume mixer. Okay. 50 minutes for 4 to 5 games. They are going deep. Yeah, it sounded like for some of these, they're going to be like actually at the studio and like talking through different things. So I don't think it's just going to be like purely gameplay. So you're taking whiskey shots right now. You're so nervous. What are you nervous about? Let's go, Xbox. Excite me, intrigue me. We'll see it. You know? This guy on today's stream says, great podcast. I want to throw out some food for thought with the whole discussion. Apple Store is the storefront the third parties supply to. Apple being having number one spot due to 30% from third party selling in their store. So them going third party will make them a publisher and weaken their already weak position as a storefront. So for Microsoft, they do sacrifice collecting 30% to whatever third party on their platform, but they do collect 70% on whatever they sell. PlayStation will officially become the storefront for major multiplats and officially become the Apple Store of the console games. Those are great thoughts. This guy's nailing it. I agree. It'll be strange that they like both kind of benefit from it. Please announce the number of your meetings. Makes you sound super legit. Oh. Yeah. Guys, can we get 10 more likes on the video, man? There's already 300 of you here. Let's get that first 100 likes. Appreciate you. And I already paid up for the 25, so we're just 15 away from the next milestone where I'll gift more members. And we are really getting close to that 3,000 member goal as well. So thank you guys who went crazy this week and just continue to support the channel. We greatly appreciate it. Did you see this? Spider-Man 2, the top 20 games on PlayStation platforms ranked on dollar sales, and Spider-Man 2 is right behind Hogwarts Legacy, above Modern Warfare 3. Yeah, I told people that Spider-Man 2 was going to sell like an insane amount last year. I tried telling folks, I said, I don't think y'all realize why PlayStation was totally okay with internally delaying games out of 2023. They had no problem doing that, you know? Yo, what's good, Usman? How are you? Happy to have you here. It outsold Call of Duty. It outsold Call of Duty and Madden. That's bonkers. I tried telling people, I was like, they knew just how strong that Spider-Man 2 was going to perform. I think that's why they internally delayed games. It's like they didn't need them. They wanted to save them. Basically sandbagging is what they did. I'm good. How about you? I'm good, man. I always love events like this. I love the Developer Direct last year. I think this can be a great cadence for Xbox every year to kind of kick off with this. I think this is a good event. You were at your best today, Lono. Great show. I appreciate that. Thank you. I put a lot of work into the monologues. We have a little bit more time now in the afternoons, and I actually I'm still not getting the monologue done every day because I'm actually putting a little bit more work into the uploads as well. Like I'm writing semi-formal monologues for the let me remove these songs from the queue. I'm writing semi-formal monologues for the uploads as well. So I want to read what you guys are saying. Stalker 2, Hellblade 2, Avowed, Flight Sim, Towerborn, 33 Immortals replaced. Dungeons of Hinterberg, Arc 2. I don't know about Arc 2. I also don't know about Clockwork Revolution. I don't know why people keep putting Clockwork Revolution. I don't think that game is coming this year. I think people are getting a little ahead of themselves. Clockwork Revolution was just announced last year. We haven't even seen gameplay, so I think people need to cool down a little bit on some of their predictions. Arc 2 mistakenly said they were coming out in 2025. They claimed it was a typo. We'll see. I still think Arc 2's at risk of getting delayed into next year. I would love it if Replaced came out this year. I thought Replaced looked really cool. I definitely think that Towerborn and 33 Immortals are good little indie titles to add. I'm actually excited about both. Yeah, and Dungeons of Hinterberg I think looks really cool too. I do. I think Xbox's lineup this year is more interesting to me than last year's lineup. But I don't think you're going to get Clockwork Revolution, and I'm still unsure about Arc 2. So I wish that every channel I watched did their research as well as you. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, that's something that we hope over time, really, really, kind of wins people over and shows them, our dedication to, accuracy, and not like spinning things. As much as we're accused of that, I think it's clear if you watch any of the monologues, 20 something minute monologues, I think speak for themselves. If you constantly have to rip things from context and deal in a couple of minutes ripped out of an entire monologue to make me look a certain way, I think that speaks for itself. The dishonesty is kind of baked in. Will there be a shadow drop? Barry, I don't think so. I think they're going to experiment with something different this time. I think they're going to say, hey, this game's coming in 2 weeks. Because their blog says everything that they show and talk about is coming later this year. So I think they're trying to kind of softly set the expectation that there will not be a shadow drop. But I do think they want to experiment with the efficacy of, if you announce a game that's a week or two away, can you get a bunch of people to sign up for Game Pass? And then while they wait for that game to come, they could potentially enjoy Game Pass and be more likely to keep Game Pass, if that makes sense. It would make Game Pass less transactional. Like on a shadow drop, you might convince a bunch of people to sign up for Game Pass just for that game, and then when they're done with that game, they'll cancel Game Pass. But if you say, this game comes out in a week or two, sign up for Game Pass today. While you wait, you can check out this amazing lineup of games, and you might be more likely to keep those people on Game Pass. It could lower the churn rate. Shadow drops could lead to a high churn rate of Game Pass. Churn rate is when someone signs up for something and then cancels, like pretty quickly after. Yo, Dumpy Koala with the 5 bomb takes us to 40 members on the day. Thank you so much, man. Tempting a 10 bomb to see if we can get that 50, and then I'll owe you guys 5 more. Thank you, Dumpy Koala. Ben says, my one wish list item for all these games is 60 FPS confirmation. Well, I don't think you're going to get that. I don't think you're going to get that, Sven. It'll be a shadow drop, like something unexpected but not available now. I think there's going to be a surprise. I do. I think there's going to be a surprise appearance, but I don't think they're going to do, hey, this game's available right now, right? Oh, nice job, Barry. Good to see you getting a badge from Dumpy Koala. As a brand new channel member, you can get into our members-only Discord. You can take part in a daily members-only Q&A. And this Friday night, we're going to let all of the gifteds come to Friday Night with Madam. We made the decision this year to restrict Friday Nights with Madam to only paying members just because we have a lot of people that watch that get a membership that don't like me. And that's fine. That's just the nature of things. But we don't want those people having access to streams with my wife. But she'll be here Friday night. We'll just kind of have her off cam. So you guys can kind of sample, you know, the Discord, the community, the content. And if you like it, you can pick up your own membership. Yo, a single from Patrick Q gets us to 41. Thank you so much, Patrick. PlayStation is offering refunds for users who owned the PS4 version of The Last of Us Part 2 but already pre-ordered The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, which is $50, instead of getting the $10 upgrade. Cash grab, though. Yeah. Cash grab, though. I was going to ask you a question on Twitter, but do you think when Xbox games come to PlayStation, do you think it's going to just play online, or people are going to need to make a Microsoft account? You won't need a Microsoft account. Like I think Sea of Thieves is the one that we can confidently say is coming. The other ones are less concrete. Okay, I have it on very good authority. Sea of Thieves is coming. Well, I don't think you're going to need a Microsoft account to play Sea of Thieves. Yo, Jordan Lanham gifts another member today. Thank you again, Jordan, for gifting some more members. And it goes to our boy Donnie. Always good to see you, Donnie. If you guys have never checked out the Pure Dead Gaming podcast, be sure to check them out. Lono, nothing like getting a load off at the wastewater facility. Feels kind of pointless at work today. Yo, good to see you, Marcus. Grounded needs to come then. Well, we talked about this in the show this morning. I think the thing that people are missing in the grand discussion about like first party games coming to PlayStation 5, I think that porting a game to another platform is going to be irresistible ROI. It really will be. Think about it. Spending roughly a year porting a game to PlayStation, that costs a fraction of the actual budget to build the game, okay? So let's imagine that it costs $100 million to make some game. Just picture a game in your mind, and it costs $100 million to make it. Spending a fraction of that to then take that game and investment to another platform and make more money, I think that ROI is just going to be too tempting to pass up for Xbox. It's going to be so... Think about you're spending way less money to bring the game to PlayStation, meaning you're making the money back so fast. You're making almost guaranteed profit every time. Joker Quinn with the gifted member. Thank you so much, taking us to 43. My man Doc's in the house. What's he saying? What's he saying? Is he saying I'm always right? I think that's typically what he says. I'm just kidding. Lono, I'm sorry people are like that. Attacking your takes is one thing. Attacking you personally is something else. Now that that's done, who's your source? Just messing, bro. Dumpy Koala gifts one and takes it to 44. Here's the thing that people don't understand. I'm connected to people that are super connected in the industry. Okay? And they know people. And they had folks come to them that are never wrong and are like, this is happening. And I was like, okay, we've got some sources then. That's the extent of it. Like, that's the extent of it. that doofus, you know, that claims that he fired himself, he thought I was claiming I had a source at the company. It's like, I never said that. You presumed that. That's your own fault, you know? Dr. Snow says, connect me. No. True SSJ Havoc with a 5 spot. Lono, you good? I only caught a small amount of the convo earlier. I hope people aren't giving you grief. Screw these people. Oh, it's at a pretty strong fever pitch on Twitter, but it's not doing anything but helping us. Soul Train with a gifted member takes us to 45, putting us a 5 bomb away from 50. Every 25, I owe 5. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. No, I just, you know, I am connected to people who know way more people than me. And we had some people that are never wrong say, this is happening. So it's not like they were coming to me and trying to, like, win points. You know? JK, don't know what to do with that. DK Beggar gifts a member. All these singles add up really quick, guys. Thank you so much. These are great days to go crazy with gifteds, man. These are great days to go crazy with gifteds. A lot of new people in chat. Give them a chance to sample our Discord and our members-only content, man. Dark Taco gifts another one. Let's go, dude. These single gifteds add up quick. Show these big boys, you know? Doc says, I got a PC. RoboCop has crashed 4 times on me. Yes, it looks nice. Yes, it runs smooth, but man, how do you guys deal with the troubleshooting? I feel like uninstalling the game. Doc, that's why I don't like playing on PC. I don't like playing on PC for that reason. You know? Drivers this, patch that, crash this, tweak settings here. No thanks, dude. I prefer to console. I just prefer console gaming. Stone Spire gifts a member and takes us to 48 out of 50. No Activision at this event. I am interested as to when and how they start to really ramp up Activision's presence. And a 5 bomb from nobody. There it is. There it is. That's 53. You're the agents of chaos now. Taking us past 50 to 53, and now the next goal is 75. I'll gift the 5 that I owe you guys now. I've been helping you guys keep that momentum to get us closer to the goals, because we always lose a little bit of members while we're gaining members. So I've been trying to help out with that. So there's the 5 that I owe you. Gothmog with 2 months. Microsoft is scared to lose home theater to Sony. Do you think this could make an HTPC interface for Windows in the possible? I have no idea, Gothmog. I have no idea about that. You need more power, Doc? Go to PC Part Picker, start building a new rig. He just got a rig. You know, I am Melee with 25 months in a VIP. I love how I went from port begging and copium to it's just APK to vitriol. I can't keep up with the goalposts. Yeah, it was port begging, copium, then it's just ABK, now it's vitriol and attacks. It's like, wow, every stage of grief, right? What game going to PlayStation will really hurt me, but I'll never admit it? What game going to PlayStation will really hurt you, but you'll never admit it? I don't know. I don't know, Doc. You'll have to tell us. Dark Taco with a 5 spot. Fair Monopoly money coming your way, big dog. Hey. Oh, Doc got a laptop. Oh, he got a gaming laptop. Oh. Yeah. That's tough, because sometimes they're just... I don't do a lot of gaming on laptops, but I know for a fact from just some of the people I've spoken with, they can struggle with heat. It's hard to get the heat out of it, you know? I know mine, whenever I played Fortnite on it, I was always nervous. That thing, my fans would be screaming. Oh, Starfield? Yeah, Doc, I mean, here's my take on this, okay? I have somebody very connected to Microsoft in my DMs, and they were told very strongly that Hellblade is not coming. Hellblade is not coming to PlayStation, okay? And because that's another rumor that they heard. Don't you think it's interesting that that can be strongly refuted and strongly claimed, nope, but no one will publish an article saying, my sources tell me at Microsoft that Starfield's not going to PlayStation. Why hasn't a Microsoft representative said that? Right? That tool bag that claimed he fired himself, he's out here claiming he's going to have a Bethesda person on a podcast. And that guy's going to say that it's, you know, that Starfield's never coming. Like, okay, why won't Microsoft say it then? The whole thing is just so bizarre to me. If Starfield's never coming to PlayStation 5, you would think that somebody would have said something by now. Right? A press representative would have, and that would be in print right now. There would be an article, 100%. Like, I promise you, these guys that have contacts at Microsoft would have already written articles and said, we reached out to Microsoft for comment, and they have said, Starfield, there is no plans to bring Starfield to PlayStation 5. That'd be in print right now. Why won't anybody say that? That's the question you should be asking. It took 18 hours for Phil Spencer to say, we have no plans to bring Game Pass to PlayStation and Nintendo. Why would they need to say that, though? They would say only on Xbox back in the day. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why, but I think Starfield would do well on PS5. I think everyone bashing would actually play it. Well, Doc, here's the thing. There's a huge Bethesda audience on PlayStation. There's a huge Bethesda audience on PlayStation. If you go back and you look at the Fallout 4 sales, Fallout 4 did incredibly well on PlayStation. So if they update the game every 6 weeks this year, and they get that game into a much better place with quality of life and inventory and fast travel and everything, and they also launch the DLC, and the game feels like it kind of has almost like a comeback moment, I think dropping that on PlayStation, they would sell millions of copies. Millions. And again, as I was saying when you first got in here, Doc, I think the ROI on porting games to PlayStation is going to be too tempting for them to pass up. It's so much cheaper to port a completed game to PlayStation. Like, the budget that they spent building Starfield and the budget that they're going to spend fixing it and building Shattered Spaces, okay? Add all that money up, okay? That's all invested in the property. The money that they would have to spend to port it to PlayStation 5 is a fraction of that budget. And the return of that investment, of that port, the cost to port, like, that to me is too tempting to pass up. You know, you consider maybe being able to sell 5 or 10 million copies in the first year, like Eugene's predicting. You can sell between 5 and 10 million copies of Starfield on PlayStation 5. That's going to be too tempting. That's way too tempting. Once they start, if Sea of Thieves comes, if Hi-Fi Rush comes, once they start, it's going to be way too tempting to be like, the cost to port a game is a fraction of the budget, and the money we would make would be insane. Like, the ROI is so good. Stop it. Blade's not coming to PlayStation. That's like saying Spider-Man's coming to Xbox. Oh no, Blade is 100% a multi-plat game, Darren. Blade is 100% a multi-plat game. It's why when they announced it, they didn't say anything about the platforms that it's coming on. They knew this was coming. They knew that there were going to be games, first-party games, coming to PlayStation. So there was no reason to make Blade a first-party exclusive. Paul says, cost of porting now is nothing. You can have a port build running within a day. Blade's probably not even going to be out until like 2027. By then, there will be so much first-party property on PlayStation, they won't even question putting Blade multiplat. Like, are you kidding me? I just think people are struggling to accept the facts. This is happening. This is happening. Like, I just accept it. You're still going to get these games day and date on Game Pass. Almost assuredly, you're going to be able to get Blade day and date on Game Pass. But I'm telling you right now, between now and when Blade comes out, it's going to be so commonplace for first-party Xbox titles to land on PlayStation, no one's even going to bat an eye when it happens with Blade. It'll be so normal by then. Like, I heard Blade will be a next-gen title. Yeah, for sure, it's a next-gen title. I think they even said that in the press release. Like, Satya Nadella is not telling shareholders that, yeah, we're gonna do what we've always wanted to do. We're gonna make games and put them on all platforms. He says that. He means it. That's what they're gonna do. Eugene says their strategy is going to mirror Sony's PC port strategy. Right. Launch the game on their platform, get everybody excited about it, and then like a year later, kick it to PlayStation. Nobody cries about games on PC, mobile TVs, and microwaves, but God forbid games on PlayStation. Well, we know what's going on. Device-centric to user-centric is good for everyone. It's just a hard pill to swallow for old heads. Microsoft's been telling us. Listen, all Satya did was confirm what everybody has been hearing and saying. Phil Spencer says to Famitsu, he says, Nintendo and PlayStation are part of the Xbox community. And the interviewer's like, wow, when did that change? And he's like, it changed with Minecraft. Then the CFO of Xbox goes to a Wells Fargo summit and says, you're going to see a bit of a change of strategy. You're going to see us putting first-party games on what was previously considered competitors. So he's now saying PlayStation and Nintendo are no longer viewed as competitors, and we're going to put first-party games over there. And everybody's like, oh, it's just ABK, just ABK, just ABK. They're just talking about Call of Duty. Sure, the CFO expected Wells Fargo's investors to be familiar with the nuances of the property that they purchased when he said that. He said first-party games, and he's expecting the investors to read into it what a fanboy's reading into it, sure. And then Satya Nadella says, we can now do what we always set out to do, which is to make great games and bring them to all platforms. And Satya Nadella tells Bloomberg Live they think they could be a great publisher on Sony and Nintendo. Come on. And this is all, he's saying all this in the wake of getting ABK, and people keep making the mistake of saying, oh, he's talking about Activision Blizzard. No, he's not. He's saying Activision Blizzard has accelerated us to the point that we can do this because Phil Spencer said, ABK is not our strategy. It's an accelerant to our strategy. So when Satya Nadella says, now that we have ABK, we can do what we've always wanted to do, which is publish games on all platforms. And people are like, no, he's talking ABK. So you think Satya Nadella says, the thing that we've always wanted to do is publish Activision Blizzard games. Like, that doesn't make any sense. All I see is rumors and port begging by PlayStation players became a talking point since Blade announcement. Yes, because quoting Phil Spencer to Famitsu and quoting the CFO to Wells Fargo and quoting Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, to shareholders, that's port begging. Sure. Sure. I can't get the controls to go away. All right. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Welfare Rockstar. You guys know what we like to do on birthdays. Smash the like button and gift some members. Who wants Blade? I'm waiting for Wolverine. I actually think Blade is like the perfect comic book character for a video game. He's got so much cool equipment. Thanks for the 5-spot, True SSJ Havoc. Oh, they're starting with Obsidian. Come on, dude. I want to see. Let's see some gameplay.
Believable and fantastical, to give players a world and experience like no other. It's colorful, it's vibrant, it's strange. It's one of the most incredible settings in the world of Aora. There's going to be a lot of great secrets to discover, one of which has a really personal connection to you as the player character, and you're going to have a great time getting to know those secrets and leaving your mark on the world. And when it comes to encounters, our combat brings the best of the moment-to-moment fun that comes with action-oriented gameplay and the depth and breadth of choice that you get with an RPG. Here to talk more about Avowed's combat is Gabriel Paramo, gameplay director.
Here at Obsidian, our team's overarching goal is to empower you with choice. So we developed a flexible combat system that allows you to quickly swap from spellcasting and sharpshooting to melee combat. We want to give you the freedom to mix and match your loadout to fit the way you want to play from moment to moment, uninterrupted. For all battles, you can combine a variety of weapons, attacks, and abilities for tactical advantages against a wide range of enemy types. It's not just hacking and slashing. You're making real-time decisions about when to use your abilities, powerful melee attacks, blocks, parries, and special attacks. If you choose to approach combat with a one-handed wand, it feels quick and snappy when dealing damage to enemies at mid-range. Using the Tanglefoot ability, you can stop enemies in their tracks, giving you the opportunity to focus on weaker or tougher combatants in an intentional and controlled manner. It's important to pay attention to the types of enemies you're dealing with. Some units are extremely defensive, some are brutishly difficult, and others you must make sure you prioritize, or their healing capabilities will put you in a tough spot. To help with the different encounters you will face, we provide customizable loadouts that can be quickly switched during combat. That means you can play however you want. Equip a sword and shield and charge into battle. Dual-wield pistols and control the encounter mid-range. Or even dual-wield wands to feel like a gunslinging mage. You could use your enchanted wand to freeze enemies, and then use your offhand weapon's power attack to shatter them. We've worked hard to keep you constantly engaged as battles unfold by creating a balance between pressure and manageability during combat.
Players will have ample choices for how to build and progress their envoy in the world of the living lands as they get to know the game and the story and explore the many diverse regions. Some quests in Avowed will have you make difficult decisions with profound...
I actually think it looks better than the last time they showed it to us, but there is something clunky about some of it. I don't know if that's just because they're trying to showcase animations.
As you're exploring, you come across the bodies of these fallen soldiers, and as you explore the remains of the battle...
Yeah, stiff is a better word. It looks kind of stiff and clunky. I don't know if it's just because they're trying to show us animations, though.
Manu, Kiri, Naoki, and me. Training under Captain Ruiki. Trying to keep Thirdborn safe.
Yeah, it does look much better. It looks much better than last time.
Vigilantes. Not that I'm one to judge.
Here. Take my badge. Take everyone's. Our families deserve to know we fought and died for them.
Making the right choice isn't always what it seems. We embrace moral nuance and gray areas, trusting players to make tough decisions in complicated situations.
My squad and I rested in the cave by the water last night, and as we were sleeping, we were ambushed by those miserable Zorips. I was so surprised, and it was so dark. I just got separated from everyone else. Look, I can't face those monsters alone. But
I feel like the NPC design is pretty good because they're using automation to make them say all these lines. I feel like the NPC design is good. The texture of his hair and his clothes looks good.
He was sick, that I was paranoid, that I was a dumb baby. I heard it all often and loudly. Wait, if you found Sergeant Usui, why is he not here with you? What happened?
At the end of the quest, you have a choice. When you confront Private Naoki, if you believe the story he's told you, you can hand over the badges and let him go back home.
You're right. Real battle isn't something you can prepare for, is it? It's not my fault. No,
The voice acting's a little off. The voice acting feels like it might be a little bit AI. I can't tell.
Thirdborn.
But if you confront him, if you believe that he fled the site of the battle as an act of cowardice, then he might challenge you to a fight to reclaim his honor. Either way, when you return to town, you'll see the consequences of your actions and the choices you made during this quest. Creating an immersive experience like Avowed is anchored in the world we build. Art director Matt Hansen and the team have worked to create a unique, colorful, and dynamic visual style.
From the outset, we knew that we wanted Avowed setting to feel rich, weird, and wonderful. We found inspiration in a wide swath of real-world cultures, helping us create a unique RPG experience. By contrasting the vibrant with the dull, or verdant spaces with sickly ones, we can better deliver complex emotional experiences for our players. The Living Lands is a continent of untamed valleys with widely varied biomes, from luxuriant forests to volcanic wastes, and each of those regions itself is a conflux of storied landscapes. All of the regions have a lot of special things associated with them, but I have a deep place in my heart for Shatterscarp. As you're wandering the wastes of Shatterscarp, you might notice off in the distance a vibrant jewel of color. By transitioning from destitute, muted tones of a wasteland of sand and marching in towards a beautiful oasis, there's the opportunity there for life, for adventure, and even a little danger.
We hope you've enjoyed this look at Avowed. We're thrilled to share more about the game in the coming months, and we can't wait for you to explore the Living Lands when Avowed launches this fall.
So not a release date, they're just going to say fall? I definitely think it looks better. I think the combat's going to be something that you have to experience for yourself, because it does kind of look, yeah, they're just saying fall, no release date. I definitely think the combat, it does kind of look like a VR game. I worry it's going to be clunky and stiff, but it might be one of those games that you have to play before you can truly make up your mind. It looked better graphically, and the combat looked better, but there's still like this stiff rigidity to it. Oh, here we go.
Hi, I'm Don Matthews.
I also think it's weird they don't have a hard release date yet for Avowed. I think that's weird.
Final months of development on Senua Saga Hellblade II. and the team is working hard to bring you an unforgettable journey into Senua's unique world and her battle for survival, where we have once again combined high fidelity and immersive presentation with a shorter, narrative-led experience that focuses on the things that we really care about, and that we hope you care about too.
Do you see how small you are? Do you see how the pitiless world stamps you down?
Senua is back with a new quest. She wants to stop the Vikings who raided her village right at their source, in Iceland. But not just her quest has changed. Senua herself has grown since the first Hellblade. She's made peace with her past and is no longer in such fear of her visions and voices. While the Furies are still her constant companions, she encounters new people along the way, some of which will value her unique perspective, and others who will reject it.
Little by little, this settlement became my tribe.
In the game, Senua arrives in 10th century Iceland on the trail of the Vikings who have been enslaving her people. In the story, we're trying to be as faithful to history as we can up to a point, establishing a solid framework and then building more surreal elements on top. Senua will face up to giants who have plunged the land into chaos, and which in turn has seen the rise of the Droiga, a violent threat that has swept through the settlements that she'll discover. Senua will make new enemies and also new allies who will come to see her unique perspective as a beacon of hope. And she'll discover, along with us, how this viewpoint can have its advantages.
Senua is a Celtic warrior who experiences psychosis, seeing things that other people don't, hearing voices, and having unique beliefs about the world around her. To bring Senua's perspective of the world to life in a truthful way, we have once again worked closely with Professor Paul Fletcher at the University of Cambridge, as well as people with lived experience of psychosis.
What does that mean? What does that mean? It's terrifying.
Players will find themselves traversing beautiful and hostile environments, seeking answers from patterns and signs that Senua sees in her own unique way, and battling through encounters with enemies that will push Senua to her limits.
On Saga, we've taken everything to the next level. With a new motion capture space, a bigger stage team, a stunt crew, and a new cast.
We spent a lot of time planning the motion capture shoots, thinking of what events would be good to bring into this fight. Like, how can we make this fight feel different from the previous fight? We have all new combat for the sequel. One of our key goals was the ability to actually tell a story throughout it. It does feel very different from the first game, but it's very brutal and you're very invested in it. Senua isn't a superhero. She's fighting for survival, and we want the player to feel her struggle in every step of her journey. We want the player to always feel like they just scraped through, just survived it.
Mel knows Senua better than anyone, better than I do. Her instincts are amazing, and she really doesn't need much help from me. On stage, our main focus is storytelling. So I get to watch the actors and see all the beautiful expressions on their faces. And then I have to wait a little while, and then I get to see that all again, in-game, in costume, on location, everything. It's a great experience, a great process.
Every discipline in the studio is unified in achieving a deep level of immersion to help suspend your disbelief and pull you into Senua's story. We were lucky enough to do a few reference gathering trips in Iceland. You have to be there. The sense of scale, everything is incredible. And you see a scene or you see a small section of the game and you're like, yeah, that works, that's amazing.
Senua experiences reality differently, and a part of this manifests in the voices she hears.
She will collapse. She will collapse.
These voices come to life through binaural audio, which provides a good representation of this type of auditory hallucinations. As we focus in immersion, binaural audio is perfect for this because through headphones, You surround yourself in a three-dimensional space. In the first game, we only applied to the voices that Senua listens in her head. In this game, through a spatial audio technology and some extra little things within the game, there is music that is binaural. Every single sound has the potential to be binaural, so everything is spatialized around you, and it's a very beautiful experience.
What will they do to her? What will we do to us?
Music is a strange language in the sense that it speaks to our emotions fast and deep. It's not only about quality, it's about personality. So when you listen to Hellblade, you know it's Hellblade. On the music, we are working with Heilung, which for me is a personal privilege because I really admire them. We feel their craft, their depth, their meaning in the music. It really connects with our game and elevates it to something really special. We are also working with a heavy metal singer, throat singers, and our very own Furies. They sing so beautiful, and we add that binaural touch of music. So this all creates a very immersive and a very special and unique experience.
Our mission here at Ninja Theory is to craft life-changing art with game-changing tech. And that's our aim in Senua Saga Hellblade 2, is to not only see where Senua goes next, but to deliver something really meaningful for our players.
My hope is that they will really connect to Senua as a character, and even if they can't really relate to what she's going through, maybe they know someone that relates to that character and they can then understand that person better.
Well, I don't want to sound cheesy, but in a way I'm Senua, right? She exists and doesn't. It exists through all of our work, through every ninja. So we all are Senua, and we are creating this character that grows and grows and grows and grows and keep growing and keep changing. So that makes it real.
I'm so proud of the love, care and passion our team here at Ninja Theory are putting into Senua Saga Hellblade 2. Our hope is to not only create a game that is great to play, but to craft an experience that leaves you thinking and feeling. From our combat gameplay through to our action set pieces, from our cinematic scenes to our puzzle solving, everything is crafted in service of Senua's journey, a journey that you can embark on May 21st.
That's so where was the gameplay? So much of that gameplay we'd already seen, man. That's so close. That's 4 months away, and you didn't have... That was... It's like, it's my most anticipated game, dude, and so much of that gameplay we had already seen. I would say 80% of that gameplay was not new. Uh-oh, Square Enix. This is a surprise right here. Here's your surprise, chat.
Greetings, Xbox players. My name is Masaru Oyamada, producer for the Mana series here at Square Enix. 聖剣伝説 Visions of Mana の情報を Xbox ユーザーの皆さんにいち早くお伝えできる機会をいただけて大変光栄です。
Visions of Mana。
コンソールゲームとしては約17年ぶりとなる聖剣伝説シリーズの完全新作。聖剣伝説シリーズは1991年にファイナルファンタジー外伝として誕生して以降、マナと聖剣をめぐって描かれる愛をテーマに、個性豊かなキャラクターたち、心に響く楽曲の数々、武器の特性を生かして戦うアクション RPG としてこれまでに17作発売され、長らく愛されてきました。本作は30年以上の歴史あるシリーズの最新作となるため、これまで培われてきた聖剣伝説としての世界をしっかり感じられるものを目指して鋭意制作中です。フィールドでは自然や精霊とのつながりを感じられる色彩豊かな聖剣伝説の世界を体験してもらえると思います。シリーズおなじみのモンスターたちも本作に登場しています。
This kind of looks awesome.
今回これらのおなじみのモンスターたちを作り出した聖剣伝説の生みの親である 石井浩一さんとともに聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナの内容を紹介していきたいと思います。
Hello, I am Koichi Ishii from Gretz. I am so happy to introduce the newest game in the Mana series to Xbox players.
This guy jumped right out of the
初期の
Matrix.
頃からシリーズ作品に登場しているモンスターたちは私が考案したものですが、中には小学生の頃すでにイメージができていたものもあります。今作では初めはドット絵からスタートしたモンスターたちをどのような形で最新化して聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナに落とし込むか、デザインの方向性からモデルの完成イメージまでを監修する立場でプロジェクトに参加しました。聖剣伝説ファイナルファンタジー外伝を作っていた頃から自分の頭の中ではモンスターたちは立体的に生き生きと動いて、これまで自分が携わった作品ではそれらをどうやって当時の技術で表現できるかにこだわって作ってきました。最新作では聖剣伝説のモンスターたちのただ可愛いだけではなく恐ろしさの部分もしっかりと表現できているので、バトル中はモンスターたちの表情にも注目してください。
これまで聖剣伝説シリーズには空を旅する海を渡る手助けをしてくれる頼もしい仲間たちがいましたが、今作には広大なフィールド探検に欠かせない新たな仲間が登場します。陸上を猛スピードで駆け回ってくれるピックルも石井さんが新たに考案してくださっています。
新たな仲間を考えるにあたっては
This is uncut gameplay. This is how you show a game.
動物にしたいという漠然とした思いがありました。その上でヨークシャテリアの毛並み、見た目やアルマジルによく似た仙山港や古代エジプト神のアヌビスの子供といった具体的なイメージが浮かんできて、それぞれの特徴を取り入れながらラフデザインを書き起こしました。デザイナーにもアイデアを出してもらいながら、足の長さや丸まった時のイメージなどゲームの中での見え方も考えながら調整を重ねていき、ピックルは誕生しました。
もう一つの挑戦は楽曲面です。過去さまざまなコンポーザーが携わられた楽曲の雰囲気が感じられつつも、最新作として素晴らしい新たな楽曲が生まれました。 BGM でも
You don't see gameplay, it's a direct? That's such a lame excuse. If these games are coming out this year, then show me freaking gameplay, bro. I'm gonna keep the same energy with PlayStation. If your game is 4 to 7 months away, show me gameplay. When are you gonna show gameplay for Hellblade? When? It's coming out in 4 months. When? Where are the uncut gameplay showcases then? If not at this event, then when? It's so
アレンジが切り
annoying.
替わる様を実際に聞いてみましょう。
Like, I have such a firm grasp on what combat in this game looks like because I'm getting a long, lengthy look at uncut gameplay right now. This is how you showcase a game.
RPG 聖剣伝説のアクション部分が強化されています。空中でのアクションがバトルの鍵となっており、武器での攻撃だけでなく魔法での攻撃も可能になっています。そして本作ならではの特徴として聖剣伝説シリーズではおなじみの精霊たち。
Yeah, you're not going to get gameplay. It's just a developer direct. Then what are we looking at right now, dude? Like, I'm genuinely annoyed as a big fan of Hellblade. Like, I'm actually irritated. Look at how much gameplay showcase we're getting for this game.
ともに聖剣伝説の世界らしい不思議な力で爽快なバトルを楽しんでいただけます。
オリジナルモンスターやピックリにも注目してほしいのですが、聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナは聖剣伝説らしさを感じてもらえる作品になるよう、小山田君を中心にチームのみんなが頑張って作ってくれていますので、ぜひ発売日を楽しみに待っていてください。私自身もプレイするのを楽しみにしています。
聖剣伝説シリーズとして初めて Xbox ユーザーの皆さんにお届けする本作聖剣伝説ビジョンズ・オブ・マナは今後も様々な情報をお届けしていきますので、ぜひご期待ください。この夏、この忘れられない冒険を Xbox ユーザーの皆さんに楽しんでいただける日が今から待ちきれません。
Okay, Summer, Summer. So we're still... it's still odd that you don't have release dates for this or Avowed. Like, summer, fall, like, that's so close you don't have dates. I don't know. Both Avowed and Hellblade, so much of the gameplay was chopped up. Like, Avowed had better cuts, but, like, 80% of what they showed for Hellblade 2 we've already seen. Like, I don't know. That's just worrisome. You're 4 months away, and you can't show me lengthy, uncut gameplay. You can't show me combat of Senua in light instead of, like, in a dark basement. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I'm saying that as a fan.
Hello, and welcome to Oxide Games. We founded the studio in 2013 with our decades of personal experience building some of the most beloved strategy games of all time, like Civilization V. We came together to create something new and innovative in a genre we all love. Ara History Untold is the game we've dreamt of making.
Ara is an homage to historical gamers, strategy gamers, 4X gamers. It features all the depth and gameplay fans of this genre love, where you'll explore the world, expand your nation, govern your people, and engage with your rivals on the international stage. But it isn't just more of the same. With Ara, we wanted to challenge some of the preconceived notions about the genre, push it forward in a modern, empowering, and truly compelling and approachable way.
For example, we have over 100 instruments on display in the office, which are all things that we purchased in order to add to the soundtrack and expand the game and make it really good. Hi, Dan. That's Dan. We started in his basement. It's been an amazing process to see from concept to completion. We started small, building a robust game engine, questioning our design assumptions, and prototyping out features, rediscovering what made us fall in love with strategy games in the first place.
The end result is Ara, the historical grand strategy game that presents a living world where you can rule how you want to rule and chart your own path to becoming the most prestigious nation on the planet.
For Ara, we knew we needed deep systems with outcomes that encourage exploration and give players the power to experiment and make meaningful strategic choices while still having agency over their playstyle.
We also wanted to explore more in different parts of history and give players from around the world the chance to see the game reflect their unique perspective and not just ours.
And finally, we knew that for players to feel the impact of their decisions, they would need to see their choices reflected in the game world itself, not just through numbers on a menu. One of the first differences you'll see when you dive into Ara is what we call the living world. It's a procedurally generated alternate Earth, bursting with life, an intuitive, authentic, and immersive space, a blank canvas for players to paint the society of their dreams.
The living world isn't just a map. It reflects the choices players make over the course of the game. They can see everything from the settling of the wilderness to cultural influence on architecture over time to the thousands of citizens living their lives and reacting to the changes. We want players to feel like they're truly occupying the world, leading their people.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the length of Hellblade. The first game was 8 to 10 hours, and it's a masterpiece, and I love it. I'm okay if the next game is 8 to 10 hours. My concern is that when you're this close to the game coming out, I expected an actual showcase of gameplay, not showing me the same footage we've already seen and getting to see developers, like, talking. Like, I like hearing from developers, but come on, man. I told you guys before going into the day what I wanted. I wanted raw, uncut gameplay and release dates because of how close we are to games launching. And Lone Wolf, to your point about Spider-Man and how we didn't have a release date until the summer, that's fair, but when you tell me a game is coming out in the summer and it's January, I just think that's strange, that you know it's coming out in the summer, but you don't have a release date yet. Like, once you designate fall, summer, whatever, and you're in the year it comes out, I don't know. That to me is just cause for concern. It's like, well, is the game ready? You know what I mean?
Prestige bonuses and game-changing abilities to the nation that constructs them.
Another aspect of Ara that I'm personally excited about is our crafting system.
The crafting system offers a unique challenge to the player that they generally won't see often in the 4X genre. Succeeding at balancing, gathering the right things, turning them into the tools that you need, and then finally getting to the outcome or reward of something like an important improvement or triumph just changes the challenge that exists in Ara compared to other 4X games.
Crafting plays out in Ara at a national scale, with players honing and combining the natural resources they harvest into all manner of goods and components. Those are the foundation for everything, from international trade to improving their cities and citizens' lives, and even manufacturing the weapons necessary to draft military units. The crafting system in Ara encourages thoughtful, advanced planning. It rewards players who can see the strategic outcome of all their collective decisions, and not just the individual ones.
I'm proud of the work that's gone into our simultaneous turn system. Many strategy games have players alternate taking turns and reacting to their opponent's moves. In Ara, all players' actions are resolved at the same time. This rewards players' ability to navigate uncertainty, to predict and strategically plan for a variety of scenarios in the moment. This system makes Ara just feel more real.
I agree that Hellblade 1 in the trailers didn't show a lot of gameplay, but they also didn't have this much marketing. Hellblade 2 has been showed like 6 times. Like, now is the time to show some gameplay. Like, I don't know. It's just concerning because I'm super excited about the game, so it just makes me anxious.
For Ara, we wanted to offer a fresh perspective, so we looked at cultures and societies throughout the millennia with the broadest lens possible.
Where this approach really shines is in our leaders. Leaders are so often seen as military personnel or prominent government figures, but leaders come in so many different forms. They're thought leaders, scientific and cultural prodigies, and many more.
Each leader in Ara has a number of special abilities determined by their personality traits, as well as a powerful and unique leader trait informed by their contributions to world history.
With a diverse global roster, we know players will find leaders that they will want to play. And even a few that may surprise them with how fun it is when those leaders are handed the reins of power.
For us at
Spider-Man literally did the same thing in May, fall of 2023. And I remember saying that was irritating. I said the same thing with God of War Ragnarok. I was consistent back then. I did a whole stream about criticizing God of War Ragnarok. Just tell us the freaking release date. I remember that now. When they did that with Spider-Man, I said, come on, man, what's the release date? What are y'all doing? And then they showed up at Summer Game Fest and said it. They showed up like a month later and announced the release date. I don't like when games do that. I was consistent back then. I criticized God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man for doing that. It's annoying. Just give us a stinking release date, man.
I'm happy to report, based on more recent feedback, that I think we ended up in a good place with the overall threat level of mountain lions to a player's citizenry.
It's been years of hard work to bring you a strategy experience like no other. And we're so excited that we can finally see the finish line. We can't wait for players to get their hands on the game later this year.
But the launch of Ara is only the beginning. We are going to maintain our insider program after the release date and continue to listen to players and support the game into the future.
On behalf of everyone at Oxide Games, thank you for joining us today. We can't wait for you to play Ara and to create your own history.
Hej och välkommen till Uppsala, Sverige, här hos Machine Games. We are really excited to finally be able to share our work on Indiana Jones. Since the first film came out, Indiana Jones has always represented the ultimate adventure. Even today, it's one of the most iconic franchises in pop culture. In this game, you aren't just playing as Indy, you are Indiana Jones. You will see through his eyes and experience a journey that we hope lives up to the proud legacy of Indiana Jones. When Todd Howard first told us about his vision for the game, we knew we would be a very good fit to help bring it to life.
I've wanted to make an Indiana Jones game forever. I'd had this idea for what it would be like and the story, what Indy was going after, what period of his life it was in, what kind of arc he was going to have. And as the years went on, I thought, who would be like the best studio in the world to make this? And it was my friends at Machine Games. I can remember pitching Lucasfilm on the game and being, a little bit nervous because look, it's, Indiana Jones, and their response was just overwhelmingly positive, and just that excitement has bled through the whole project, and they have just been so trusting and supportive of everything that we want to do with the game. It's been a long time. I've been a fan of this my whole life, and I couldn't be more excited to show you what the team here has been up to. Let's take our first look at the new Indiana Jones game.
Let me tell you what you are missing, Dr. Jones. While you were playing your pointless game, I was playing you. You're wondering if maybe you should have built yourself a life of meaning instead of ending up here, dead and forgotten in the sense of Africa.
Okay, they got him to look like Harrison Ford. That's a good start.
Myths. History. Just different ways to interpret the past. Thousands of years of humanity's thoughts and beliefs, scattered and buried. Just waiting to be found.
You can't just run away from your problems, Indiana.
Watch me. Throughout history, mankind has built sites of great spiritual significance. If you were to draw a line through these ancient sites around the globe, you get a perfectly aligned circle. I've had run-ins with these guys before. Trust me, it ain't a walk in the park.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
What do you mean if I could keep up? Patron of the fallen angels. Protector of the Circulimani. The Great Circle. You have any idea how old that was?
Indiana Jones is such an iconic character, and he means so much to so many people. Everyone here at the studio has their own indie stories and memories. Most of us grew up with his adventures.
I feel like they captured like the vibe of Indiana Jones. Like it looks like him, it sounds like him, the music, the settings, the setups. I don't know. I need to see more or maybe look at it again. There's something about the graphics and the presentation. I think I like art style over photorealism. I just need to watch it again.
Our game is all about putting you in Indy's shoes, letting you see and feel what he sees and feels. For us at Machine Games, we do that best through first person. It's the ideal perspective to bring you into the rich, exciting, and interactive world we've built. We believe that being up close and personal to the adventure is key, making each action feel like your own.
Whether it's cracking your whip, solving puzzles in ancient temples, or seeing your knuckles go bloody in a fistfight, all of these moments are much more intense in first person. But we still want you to have those moments. Seeing his iconic silhouette with the hat and the whip, and so for things like cutscenes and environmental traversal, we pull the camera back for a third-person view. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is set between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade.
When our game begins, Indiana is working at Marshall College. He wakes up in the middle of the night to the sounds of a break-in and rushes to confront the thief in the college museum. The mysterious giant of a man makes off with what seems to be a historically insignificant artifact, sparking Indiana's curiosity.
Who the hell are you?
Following the trail, Indiana heads to the Vatican, hoping to learn why this particular relic was stolen, and discovers that things aren't what they appear.
He starts pulling at the strings of a mystery, and it all unravels until he has no choice but to see it through to the end, whatever the end may be.
On next plane to Rome. Stop. Need help. Stop. Meet me in Vatican. Stop. Indy.
We always talk about how clever Indiana Jones is. That had to be one of our guiding principles when we were thinking about the type of game we were making. It wouldn't be Indy if he wasn't using his wits to get through the situation. The most authentic Indiana Jones experience we can make is the one that makes you think first.
Getting the hang of this.
They're showing so much gameplay. I wonder if this is the game that's coming out really soon. Like, in like a couple weeks. They're showing a lot of gameplay.
A more genuine indie experience by finding more clever ways to solve a problem.
We always want to be offering more solutions, whether it's trying a different path through the environment to get around enemies, observing enemy patrols and using them to your advantage, or using the tools at your disposal, like the whip.
It's an amazing global adventure with action propelling you through your journey.
We have these really diverse environments for you to explore. Indy's journey will take him to the forgotten temples of Sukhothai, the pyramids of Egypt, the snow-peaked Himalayas, and beyond.
We look carefully at each location and the time period the game is set in, and we're trying to make it as authentic and accurate as possible.
We love creating rich, vibrant worlds, and in this game, we also had the goal of making it feel like a true cinematic Indiana Jones adventure.
Yeah, they have 2 for fall. They had the 1 for summer. They got the 1 in May. I think this is your first quarter release right here. I think this is right around the corner.
Williams is the original composer for the indie films, and we're really lucky to have found Gordy Hub, a composer who's been able to capture Williams' essence with his score for The Great Circle.
We also take a very movie-like approach to things like cinematics. We're very physical with our production style. We use a lot of stunt actors. Things like this help us bridge the gap between making a game and making a movie.
And of course, our characters do a lot to help bring the world to life as well. Next to Indy, Gina is our other main protagonist. Where Indy is pursuing answers just for the sake of curiosity, Gina has a personal stake in getting to the bottom of the core mystery.
I love her outfit.
Gina is an investigative reporter who has a lot riding on this adventure. She's been tracking a lead for some time, and now she's found an ally in this determined American professor. Their paths are intertwined, and they'll need each other in order to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Okay, then. Let's see if you can keep up.
Fight. What do you mean if I can keep up?
We always love our villains and think we might have found our favorite one yet in Emmerich Voss. He's this intensely psychological man. He's obsessed with the human mind and manipulating it.
He's highly intelligent and the perfect foil for Indy. They're both brilliant people, compelled by their passions and obsessions, but driven down wildly different roads.
He creeps up on you and gets under your skin like he gets under Indy's skin. It's captivating.
Dead and forgotten in the sense.
I like I don't know, I like the art style.
One of our models for Indiana Jones and
it almost feels like a graphic novel, right? I actually like the art style. I don't think they needed to go crazy photorealistic. It looks like a graphic novel to me.
And we've ended up with this sort of hybrid experience that mixes melee combat, stealth, and gunplay.
How you approach any given situation is up to you. You may choose to sneak around an enemy patrol, or maybe you'll just pick up a shovel and whack them on the back of their head. And when you can't use your wits, you got Indy's most iconic tool. Just like you see in the movies, one of our goals has been to make the whip as fun and multi-purposed as possible. We want it integrated into every aspect of the game.
Yeah, a lot of you guys keep saying VR. It does kind of look like it'd be good VR. Avowed looked the same way. It's hard not to see that.
And yes, you can absolutely use it in combat. Everything you'd expect from Indie's whip, and hopefully a little bit more. Puzzles are a key feature in our game. The spirit of discovery is so important to Indiana Jones. Obviously, there are a handful of puzzles on the main path, but a lot of the puzzles are optional and are just there for the players who want to experience them. Epic traps, small secrets, and hidden puzzles that blend right in with their surroundings.
One thing I love about our game is the level of interactivity that we have. We have this world of mystery where anything could potentially hide a secret. The more you look, the more you'll discover.
Gotta be kidding me.
I want to thank you all for joining us for our big reveal of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Machine Games is known for creating these rollercoaster experiences with huge set pieces, surprising twists, and immersive narratives. It's exciting for us that we have been able to stay so true to the Indiana Jones franchise and create such an authentic experience while still being able to showcase what makes us us. We are making a game for everyone, whether you are very familiar with the franchise or not. Because at the heart of Indiana Jones is an incredible adventure, and I think that's something everyone wants to be part of. I'm also very excited to announce that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will be coming later this year, and we cannot wait to share more soon.
What? Okay, is there not a first quarter release then? Later this year, they're going to share more. They don't even have a quarter of the year for it. It just says release 2024. I don't know. I thought that was going to be the surprise drop because they showed so much. Only one game has a date. Yeah, Senua.
Should I take one?
Is it animals, children, and game developers?
Our mission here at Ninja Theory is to craft life-changing art with game-changing tech.
Core to the vision of Ara is our philosophy of rule how you want to rule. Stay happy!
Creating an immersive experience like Avowed is anchored in the world we build.
You aren't just playing as Indy, you are Indiana Jones.
My name is Masaru Oyamada. 今作はアクション RPG 聖剣伝説のアクション部分が強化されています。
All right. Yeah, and that's what's next. Is the global reveal of that? I'm telling you, I said I wanted a bunch of raw, uncut gameplay, and I wanted release dates, and I don't know what's so hard about that. I don't know. Hellblade 2 is confirmed, a $49.99 title. It's a smaller release, just like the original. I know, I saw you say that's not a good look. I don't agree with you. I think it's totally fine for Hellblade sequel to be the same type of game that Hellblade 1 was. Like, I'm not concerned about that. What I'm concerned about is the fact that they won't show uncut gameplay of Hellblade. Like, can I see some combat that's not in the dark? That's all I want to see. Like, I'm anxious about that game because I'm very invested. I really liked the first one, and I don't understand. They've been showing Hellblade since like 2019. They've been showing it for 5 years, and we're now 4 months away, and you couldn't show any uncut gameplay. Like her walking, the walking shots we've already seen. Her fighting in the red environment we've already seen. I want to see gameplay of Hellblade 2. I don't think that's unreasonable to ask of a game that's coming out in 4 months. Like, I know someone's like, oh, but Spider-Man, you know, in May, they said it was coming in fall. Yeah, and then a month later, you got a release date, and that was, they had showed a ton of gameplay of Spider-Man. We got to see a ton of gameplay of Spider-Man. I had no question, like, what Spider-Man was going to look like. All they need to do is show 60 seconds of a battle. Yeah, that's it. Like, that the Visions of Mana game showed so much uncut combat, and I was like, oh, I know exactly what that game's gonna look and feel like. It looked great. And then everything else doesn't have a release date. Yeah, show her fighting multiple enemies. Exactly. Like, she does a couple swings, then someone grabs her. It's like, I want to see like an actual uncut fight, not something that's getting disrupted by cinematics. I don't know, man. And then Avowed, it's like, Avowed, it looked better. It did. It looked better, but it's still, it's just like, it has this rigidity and this stiffness to it. It's like, I'm not going to be able to even know until I touch that game. That feels like a game you're going to have to play to really get a feel for the combat, because it looked really stiff. There was a stiffness to it. The graphics I thought looked way better. I thought the automation for the NPCs looked great. I thought the world and the graphics looked fine, but I thought the gameplay looked like real, like, clunky, and I wasn't sure, like, well, maybe it's clunky because they're just trying to show us animations, but it looked better, okay? I think Indiana Jones looks good. I know people are upset about it being first person. I think the art style's cool. It's got a stylized feel. It almost looks like a graphic novel, kind of. Like a really highly detailed graphic novel. So I think Indiana Jones looks like it's going to be fun. I know some people are like, oh, it's first person. I know, but like, they probably wanted to avoid Uncharted and Tomb Raider comparisons. So it's going to be more like a Wolfenstein take on Indiana Jones with the puzzles, right? And the stealth and the whip. Some of those stealth environments and stuff, it really reminded me of some of the Wolfenstein gameplay. I thought Indiana Jones looked fine. Visions of Mana looked great. I'm not interested in the other game, the Stories Untold. That's not really my style of game. So I think, me personally, I came to this developer direct thinking this is a great way to kick off the year, show us gameplay, give us release dates, right? That's what I expect from this. That's what we got last year. We saw Hi-Fi Rush and they dropped it. They actually showed quite a bit of gameplay last year. And then last year, we got a release date for everything except for Forza Motorsport. This year, it's the inverse. Instead of everything having a release date except for one game, nothing has a release date except for one game. It's like the exact opposite of last year. Rewatch it. It's 8 minutes. It's most of it's the developers talking. I get that a dev direct is going to go to the studio and we're going to get to see mocap and we're going to get to have interviews. That's totally fine. I only needed like a minute or two of gameplay. Like I said about Helldivers, right? We have pretty good uncut looks at Helldivers. 2 to 3 minutes maybe. So when you talk about Hellblade 2 for 8 minutes and I don't get any new gameplay footage, how is that not enough time to show some gameplay footage? You know what I'm saying? Not one PlayStation logo in sight. Deal with it? What do you mean deal with it? Anybody saying they were going to announce games coming to PlayStation was trolling. Nobody actually thought that. If anybody actually thought that, they're out of their head. That wouldn't make any sense. So do we know platforms can't go by direct? Oh, the point of this wasn't to establish platforms. It's called Xbox Developer Direct. They don't need to say anything about that. They're just going to the developers to talk about the games. That's a lie, Sam. Everybody, you guys are lying. They did not say that Hellblade 2 is smaller than the first game. That's not what they said. You're just straight up lying. They said it's a smaller narrative-driven game. That's exactly what the first game is. Hellblade 2 is likely going to be a 10-hour or a little bit more lengthened game. Like the first game was 8 to 10 hours. They never said that Hellblade 2 is shorter than the first one. Anybody saying that's lying. Oh, Hellblade 2 is digital release only? What? Why aren't they doing a physical release? That hurt Alan Wake 2. Oh my God. John Linneman says, this is bad news. Come on now, at least a special edition disc version. This is a single-player game. Hellblade has confirmed that Senua Saga Hellblade 2 will be a digital-only release. Shorter? Shorter than what? Shorter doesn't have to be used in that way. You can say this is going to be a shorter narrative-driven focused game. You're not saying it's shorter than something. You're reading into it. When they say shorter, shorter can be used in that way. Yeah, it's a shorter walk. Shorter than what? You're just saying it's a shorter walk. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You're not saying it's shorter than anything. That's an expression that people use. Wasn't the first one digital only? Yeah, but like they've put this front and center in a lot of the showcases. I thought this thing was going to get a really big push. I don't know. It's only $50. It's a small experience, digital only release. It's likely 8 to 10 hours. I have no problem with it being 8 to 10 hours. That's totally fine. The first game is a masterpiece and it's 8 to 10 hours. That's totally fine. I'm not worried about that. Like, you keep injecting that in. I don't care if the game's only 10 hours. A game like Hellblade 2 does not need to be 15, 20-something hour game. It doesn't work for the medium and the way that they tell the story. In order for that story to have punch and potency, it can't be super long. It's an art style choice. Y'all dinosaurs need to go off the physical dream. It's done. Doc, physical sells really, really well in certain markets. Alan Wake not having a physical release, it hurt its sales in certain markets. Physical sales are still very strong. They're very strong. Everybody keeps thinking that everything's digital now. It simply isn't true. Grub says, if you don't like first person, you're weak. Yeah, I don't have any problem with Indiana Jones being first person. I think that's fine. Physical is another marketing avenue, though. People see games in stores and buy rather than needing to search in the digital storefront. Agree. I'm not all for 40-plus hour games. I love Spider-Man because it was like 30. Right, like, I think a shorter length is perfect for Hellblade 2. That's not what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the fact that they won't show gameplay. Like, we just keep seeing the same stuff. I don't know one person who buys their game physically unless it's Nintendo games. Right, but Doc, that's anecdotal. There are sales reports that show physical has a very strong presence, especially in Europe. And the lack of physical, it hurt the sales of Alan Wake 2. So sure, you and your buddies are all digital. Doc, I'm digital. I don't buy physical unless it's a collector's edition, like something like the God of War thing. I don't buy physical either. I don't. But tons of people do. And when you don't have a physical release... I don't know, man. Five games, one release date, both Avowed and Hellblade 2. The gameplay showcases are not giving me a whole lot of confidence. I feel better about Avowed. I actually do. I feel better about Avowed, but that Hellblade showcase, dude, it's 8 minutes long, and you couldn't show me 60 seconds of uncut gameplay? Physical doesn't mean anything anymore, even for Nintendo. It sucks, but it is what it is. That's literally false. What you're saying is completely ignorant. Physical is massive. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, Nintendo doesn't even report their digital sales, and with physical sales reporting only, Tears of the Kingdom was like the number 2 sold game last year. Like, think about that for a minute. You literally don't know what you're talking about. You're talking right out of your rear end. Physical is still big. It's still massive in the gaming market. You literally don't know what you're talking about. The first Hellblade on PS4 has a physical release. People need to look further than their own face. There's so many countries who don't have the internet to download all the games digitally. Just because we can doesn't mean everyone can. Yeah, physical has a strong presence in other markets. It does. I don't know, dude. I really hope that we see between now and May we get some great gameplay showcases, some great gameplay trailers of Hellblade, dude, cuz I'm like I said, I'm freaking worried. It's just super concerning. You're not doing a physical release, you're doing digital only. Where's the game? Like, where's the gameplay, dude? If I was working on that game, it's like I would want to be like, here's a great 60-second showcase of a fight. Like, Lono, all the leaks about this show were correct. Logic tells me the game's being ported and ready for PlayStation is also correct. Yeah, I have it on very good authority. Sea of Thieves is coming. The physical releases for Hellblade 1 didn't release until 1 year later. Well, okay. No, I don't care about the ESO stream. Sorry. If you do, I'm sorry. I don't play that game. Did you like Indy Jones? Yeah, I thought Indiana Jones looked fine. That's the one game that I'm okay with not having a release date. Hellblade looked amazing. Doc, it's not that I don't think it looks good. It's that why won't they show us raw, uncut gameplay? They show these really quick segments of her fighting in a really dark environment. It's hard to see. And then they show her walking. That's it. I've been doing this for a long time. Those are red flags. That's a concern. I can't ignore it. If they had done that with Spider-Man, if Spider-Man 2, when they showed Spider-Man 2 at the showcase of May of last year, and it was 4 months away, and they showed nothing, they show like chopped up gameplay, I'd have been super concerned about Spider-Man. I'm like, what are you doing? They showed us tons of gameplay of Spider-Man 2 in May of last year. And then what? A month later, they announced the release date, and it was coming in September. That game was 4 months away, and we got a lengthy, uncut showcase of gameplay. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, I don't know games that are 4 months away that are like afraid to show gameplay. It's just weird. Now, somebody might push back and say, Hellblade's a very different game. They're going to market it differently. Maybe they don't want to show anything. But it's like, I can't help but have all my spidey senses get triggered when a game is 4 months away and you won't show me uncut gameplay. You won't show me raw, uncut gameplay. They did show gameplay. Everything they showed, almost all of it, Doc, was stuff that they've already shown. There's a lot of walking and listening. They can't show the puzzles. I didn't say the puzzles. Show me one fight that's not chopped up and in a dark room. The red room, we've already seen her fighting there, and it's hard to see. It's hard to see what's going on. It's like one of the dream sequences or something. Like, I've been following Hellblade very, very closely. Most of the footage in that trailer we have already seen. If shown uncut gameplay, look at TGA 2021. No, that's rendered. I don't believe that's raw gameplay. I don't care what the audio guy says. I've looked at that trailer up one side and down the other where they're on the beach and they're throwing the spears at the guy. No, that's rendered. That's not raw gameplay. I know some guy said, no, that was somebody playing. I don't believe it. I really don't. We've seen gameplay like that before, and it always smells funny. It's like, that doesn't look quite right. There's something off. And I think the recent gameplay actually looks better than that, but they're also being very choppy with it. They won't let us get a lengthy look. They won't show us uncut. They won't show her doing combat in a room where we can see. It's like, I think I'm like extra anxious again. I'm extra anxious because it's like I'm looking forward to the game, and I'm like, I don't know, dude, this all makes me worried. There wasn't a lot of fighting in the first one until you get to the end. Doc, are you really trying to tell me about Hellblade? I played the game like 4 times. There is combat the entire time. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? There's combat the entire time. Combat in the first one is slow too. For sure. But there's still a lot of it. There's a ton of it. What are you talking about? Hellblade seems like very, very linear gameplay experience with more focus on cinematics comparable to The Order 1886. I think it's going to be similar to the first game, and that's okay. Again, I think you guys are misunderstanding me. In the history of marketing games, I've been covering gameplay reveals and gameplay showcases for how long now? 8 years? I've been covering them for 8 years. When a game is 4 months away, that is typically when you get a very lengthy gameplay. Like, they show you a ton of stuff. They did it with Spider-Man 2. You can be like, well, it's an action game. What do you mean? It was still a bunch of uncut gameplay. All you gotta do for Hellblade is have her walk into a room, uncut. Don't cut it. She walks into a room, some enemies come out, she fights them. That's it. A minute, maybe. That's all I need, and I would have felt much better. It's the refusal to show anything new. It's what they're showing is chopped up and dark. Those are all red flags, dude. And the look of the game has completely changed. If you look at Hellblade 2 in 2021 and you look at what they've recently shown us, the look of the game has changed dramatically. I want to see it. I know exactly what Indiana Jones looks like. I don't have any questions. I saw tons of gameplay. There's not combat the entire time. The game starts rowing on a log. Then you reach a beach. Then you see a vision. Come on, Lono, replay it. Doc, I love you, but you don't know who you're talking to. I have played Hellblade between 3 and 4 times. There is combat all throughout that game. There is combat all throughout that game. I have played that game like 4 times. I don't even know how many hours I have on Steam. I think I have close to 40 hours, brother. There is combat the entire time. Yes, there are sections where there is no combat, but you are constantly finishing a puzzle, going into a room, fighting some guys. Finishing a puzzle, going to a room, fighting some guys. It's interwoven the entire time, dude. I played that game so many times. I'll tell you how many hours I have. Give me 1 second here. Because I've played it on Steam the most. I have 37 hours in Hellblade, dude. Like, don't tell me about Hellblade. It's my all-time favorite game. There are lengthy sequences in Hellblade where there is no combat. This is true. We got one of those at the Xbox showcase last year when she was in the room with the water and there was somebody talking to her. That's one of those lengthy parts where it's like super immersive, cinematic, audio, layered audio, right? Awesome. Just freaking awesome. So we've seen that. And I defended that trailer. I said that trailer was awesome. But now it's like, okay, can I see some combat that's not in a room where I can't see anything? I don't know. Going into the showcase, I was nervous. I was like, if they don't show me more gameplay of Hellblade, if we can't get some release dates, that's going to make me a little bit nervous. We had 5 games, 1 release date. I would say 80% of what they showed of Hellblade, we have already seen. That's concerning. I will say we saw a lot more of Avowed, and I found that very encouraging. We saw a ton more of Avowed. Avowed's graphics looked way better this time around. I do think some of the animations look stiff and rigid, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Sometimes I think first-person combat like that, it's hard to make that look good. When you're playing, it tends to feel different. Like, I remember Immortals of Avium looked kind of funky, but then I played it and I thought it felt great. I agree with Lono, but where's the concern for PlayStation? I only see Stellar Blade after Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. What do you mean? What's the problem? We have tons of dates for the first quarter. We know everything coming in the first quarter. If they come and they start announcing games for the rest of the year and they don't have release dates, I'll say the same thing. I'm like, how do you not have release dates? I'll say the exact same thing. I'll keep the same energy. If they do a state of play and they let's say they don't have a release date for Stellar Blade, that'll be a cause for concern. I'll say the same thing. I'm like, how do you not have a release date yet? Eugene says the combat is supposed to have been significantly improved and they aren't showing it. Sent you a tweet. All right, hang on. I get really passionate about Hellblade. I will readily admit that some of this is on me, okay? Yeah, guys, Doc has played Hellblade for 12 hours. He's actually played the game, okay? Okay? Listen, I get super defensive about that game. I get giddy when Melina Juergens is at an event. Like, I actually love her, and I would love to meet her. I've watched the documentary on how they created it. I absolutely love that game, and I love Ninja Theory. That game is extremely special to me. So I get really, really worked up and defensive about that game. 100%. 100%. I'll own that. I think I'm just way more on guard with that game. I'm like, what the frick is going on, man? You said that the combat's better and faster. Why won't you show it to me? This isn't about Hellblade 1 combat. It's about showing Hellblade 2's combat. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's just, it causes me concern because I'm super anxious. It's like, I don't know. And the fact that it's digital only, it just has all the hallmarks of a game that is getting rushed to market. You know what I mean? They gave us 4 whole minutes of uncut gameplay at Summer Game Fest. Where's something like this 4 months out? Right, like you guys remember this trailer? I defended this trailer because, and the reason I defended this trailer is I said a lot of Hellblade is going to be like this, okay? Do you guys remember this trailer? I defended this trailer because I saw guys like, I saw the ponies on Twitter saying that it wasn't gameplay. You remember this one? She's crawling through. All right, she stands up, she walks forward. Look at this. This is uncut. It's very blurry. Like, you can definitely tell they're struggling with the frames per second. There's a lot of motion blur going on to hide the fact that the frame rate's struggling a little bit here. It could be the lighting, okay? There's a voice right now talking to her, and there were people that got really ticked about this, and they said it wasn't gameplay. And I'm like, I was locked into this trailer the entire time. And I told people, I was like, this is gameplay. I was like, this is how you experience a lot of Hellblade. So I defended this trailer. I was like, it looks great. She looks great. The environments look great. The audio sounds great, right? Performance is obviously concerned. It's 30 FPS. But commonly games are shown at 30 FPS on YouTube and stuff because it's just a standard in the industry. For whatever reason, they commonly show trailers and games at 30 FPS. Fine. That's slowly changing, but the 30 FPS isn't deeply concerning just yet. Okay? So, this is gameplay. This is a significant portion of the game. You experience a lot of Hellblade, and that's it. So, when you go to the devs, and you're like, we're going to do an 8-minute dev direct, and we're going to talk about the game 4 months before it comes out, and we're going to talk about how the combat's been improved, and you don't show it to me, I can't help but be concerned. I'm like, what? 80% of the gameplay that they showed today that we've already seen. Seriously. I don't know. To me, it's like I can't help but be invested and get concerned. Like, I can't help it. It's just in my nature. It's in my nature to be like super invested in a game, and I'm like, maybe this is self-inflicted. Maybe this is my own fault that like I want to see more. Maybe I want to see too much, but I feel like they've been showing that game and talking about that game since 2019, and I do not have a consistent pulse on what that game's going to look like. Because what they showed in 2021, and then what I just showed you, and what they showed today, it all looks so different. What I'm hearing is, you're saying dinner will be ready in 5 minutes, but I can't smell anything cooking. That's exactly right. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I hope I'm 100% wrong. I hope they're keeping everything close to their chest. Yeah, how many times do you got to show me mocap at this point? Like, we've heard and seen so much about mocap and going on site to locations to capture the feeling of Iceland. It's like, come on, man. It's my most anticipated game this year. I'm heavily invested. If Avowed turns out to be not so great, or Indiana Jones turns out to be not so great, I'll be fine. But Hellblade 2 is just a super important game to me. It really is. And I guarantee you I'm gonna get clipped and called a hater for everything that I said, and I don't care. I don't care. I'm too invested to be quiet about it and be like, oh, it looks good. Game comes out in 4 months and they just showed us all the same footage. How much mocap does the 8-hour game need? Tons. Tons. They have to capture her for everything. Because, again, she doesn't just go into a room and fight and solve a puzzle. She goes into a room and the camera will swoop around her. And she'll look around and she'll say stuff to the camera sometimes. She'll say stuff to the voices. They have to do tons of mocap. That's why it's not going to be a super long game. Like, that's why I'm okay with it being 8 to 10 hours. It's super immersive. When he said that the music and the feel of the game is immediately deep, I knew exactly what he meant. You're instantly like, what? Like, I'm telling you, the opening where she's in the boat and the voices are talking, it's immediately deep. You're like, I'm drawn right in every time. I absolutely love it. I really do. That game has just such a special place in my heart, and I'm just worried. That's all. I'm worried. What's this? A new article from Ninja Theory Studio Head. Experience the brutal journey. Hello, Studio Head. Since the release, transition from being independent to Xbox Game Studios. Our approach is the same. We're no longer independent. Our creative spirit has been embraced. This is just this looks like a bunch of puff. This looks like everything we heard from the... Yeah, there's really nothing here. It's available to pre-install on Xbox Game Pass, and you can wishlist on Steam now. 8 to 9 hour movie of the intensity of Hellblade would be exhausting. I already clipped you and I'm taking you out of context. My channel's about to blow up. Title, Reforge hates Hellblade 2 combat. He said Starfield sucks. Oh gosh, did I miss anything? I missed somebody's resub during the show. Warawana was 6 months. All insider leaks have been correct. Warawana, you want to upgrade and get out of gifted, you need to bump up to the $6 membership tier. You're not going to be able to come to all the stuff. We had to make that change this year. And then Madara28 upgraded to VIP. Thank you, Madara. Rich Rod did a $2 tip during the show. And then Super Gaming renewed for 16 months. When they circled Ninja Theory, I died laughing because you went silent so quick. I was like, I knew you were going to stop, but it was hilarious. Yeah. As soon as they circled Ninja Theory, I was like, oh, here we go. Apparently, Troy Baker is voicing Indiana Jones in the game. I thought Indiana Jones was so great. Like, they captured the vibe of Indiana Jones. Like, it looks like him. It sounds like him. Like, the music. Just, I don't know. I get people are disappointed about being first person. I think Indiana Jones looks like a hoot. Like, it just looks fun. I think games like that are needed. We don't need, again, I think they avoided third person because it just would have been Uncharted comparisons out the waz. Machine games, that's their expertise, is first person, you know? That's their expertise. I'm going to invite my source from Ninja Theory to podcast to show how Lono's wrong. Speaking of silent, this man could not stop talking during the strategy game that I was interested in. I'm sorry, Zuby. I couldn't hold back. I couldn't hold back, man. Chat was asking for it. The punching animation was terrible. I think anytime you do punching, like melee animations from first person, I always think it's awkward and hard to make look good. I'm not going to get hung up on that. It can be ported to VR later. It really does look like a game that you could play in VR. It really does, doesn't it? Can you imagine Indiana Jones eventually coming to PlayStation and then having a PSVR 2 mode? Like, it literally looked at multiple times. I was like, solving those puzzles and cracking that whip. I'm picturing like literally doing this. Like, I don't know. You had the same reaction to Starfield 2? What do you mean? What reaction did I have to Starfield? What reaction are you referring to? Yeah, Avowed. Avowed looks like it could be fun. Like the hitting the wands, you know, really fast. That looked really cool. I honestly think Avowed is going to be the most fun to play range. I do, because I don't know the melee and the blocking. I always feel like that gets kind of funky. But I thought the range attacks and the guns and stuff looked pretty good. You were upset? I was upset about Starfield? During the Starfield Direct, I was hyped. I said we could be looking at Game of the Year. It looked incredible. I literally tweeted, I said we could be looking at Game of the Year. I was like, if they can pull this off. Yeah, I don't know though, Eugene. I feel like it's an art style choice. Oh, you're saying because I was looking forward to it and then I was sad afterwards, Victor. Oh, is that what they're saying? Is that what they're implying? That, like, I got excited? It looks similar to the art style of Wolfenstein. Lono was crestfallen when the info about the planet tiles came up. I really was. He wasn't, but played it and liked it. Karen's, what do you mean I wasn't? What are you saying? If you're going to try to say I wasn't excited for Starfield, you're just literally lying. You're not telling the truth. I watched the Starfield Direct. I turned the volume down and said, this looks so much better. We could be looking at Game of the Year if they pull this off. Yeah, I feel like it's an art style thing. I feel like indie has like a stylized look to it. Like I said, it looks almost like a graphic novel. I liked the look of Indiana Jones. I guarantee you people are going to make Uncharted comparisons and make fun of Indiana Jones and say it doesn't look that good. But to me, it looked more like an art style. I liked it. Like that villain down in his face. I thought it looked good. Bro was hyped for Starfield. Bought the watch and all. Yeah, I was excited. The Starfield Direct was a masterclass. The actual game, not so much. He was stoked about Starfield. The dissatisfaction came once he played it. Yeah, I tried to play it. I couldn't. I had to change my expectations. I had to change the way that I played it. I gave that game a fair shake. And then I played Phantom Liberty and I couldn't go back. I just couldn't do it. Made a stream of how much he's playing it? I made a stream about how much I was playing Starfield. Once again, that is simply untrue. I made a stream about how I changed the way I was playing. I basically said I was turning a corner with it. I never once said like, oh, I like it, I'm playing it so much. I said I had to change the way I'm playing, and I'm starting to turn the corner with it. And then I played Phantom Liberty, and there was no going back. There was no going back. Phantom Liberty did everything better. Like, I really don't understand why people say things that are so easily disproven. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Indy was massive Uncanny Valley. I didn't get Uncanny Valley vibes. I didn't get that. I get that sometimes in Hellblade because her eye movement can be a little creepy. Like, her eyes are so intense. I'm not going to make fun of Indy, but saying right now I have no interest in the game and first person doesn't help it. Maybe if Prey Dogs VR mod worked for it, I would give it a shot on PC. Starfield was a 7 out of 10, but it was definitely overhyped. I enjoyed my 50 hours with it. Yeah, Solaire is usually in here being pretty strong for Xbox, and I mean, I've had a lot of people basically say that. Like, it was fine. I liked it. I gave it a 7 out of 10, but it was clearly overhyped. What engine is Indy in? I would imagine probably the same engine that Wolfenstein is in. It very much looked like a lot of the Wolfenstein movement and mechanics of like grabbing stuff, throwing stuff. Lono's falling in love with Senua's actress. Call the wife now. No, I just really like Melina Juergens. I just think she's great. She just seems super sweet, and she's super talented. She wasn't even meant to be Senua. She was an editor for them, a video editor, and she was their stand-in, and she brought so much to the role that they decided that she was Senua. Troy Baker's a good choice for Indy. I agree. I think that's going to, again, I think that brings, it really felt like it captured the vibe and the essence of Indy, but I don't know. It's ID Tech per Linneman. Is that the same? Is that the same one as Wolfenstein? Last time saying it, I wonder if the release dates aren't on the games because of Game Pass subscriptions will be canceled until those release dates. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair observation that they don't want to give hard release dates because then people are like, oh, I don't need Game Pass until such and such a date. You know? Let's do a tweet. Thoughts on the developer direct. Indiana Jones looks fun. Avowed looks better than previously. Hellblade II I wanted raw, uncut gameplay. Let's see. What was the other? What was it? Visions of Mana? Visions of Mana looks great. I don't care for Ara. Was that it? Five games, right? Copy that in. Indiana Jones looks fun. I like the art style. Avowed looks better than previously. Hellblade 2, where is the raw uncut gameplay? Visions of Mana looks great. Yeah, that's it. I don't have thoughts on Ara Untold or whatever it's called. That's just not my kind of game. And apologies to everybody for talking over it. Hellblade 2 took a year of development for each hour of gameplay. That's rude. Yeah, why did Ara History Untold not have a Xbox release date? I need to hang on. I need to resend that tweet. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Yeah, that's a good point. Why don't they have a release date for Xbox for that? That's really weird. Ara History Untold, right? History Untold. Yeah, no Xbox release date. Here, I'm going to put the questions at the bottom. It's PC only? All right, there we go. All right, now I'm done. How is that weird? Xbox Developer Direct announcing a PC-only game? I don't know. I guess that's not weird. It's just, I don't know. Lono said people are telling him Hellblade won't land on PlayStation and it's the only one with a date. Coincidence? Overall, it was a 7 out of 10. Indiana Jones looked true to the series, but I don't know if the combat will hold up. Avowed looked pretty, but seemed void of soul. Hellblade needs gameplay. Yeah. I agree. It is tough to sell on console, but didn't they do Age of Empires 2 and it did incredibly well? God of War Ragnarok pushed out patch notes, so probably a lot of Valhalla stuff. Yeah, it's hard not to see. It really is hard not to see that, like, first-person whips are all the rage. Phantom Abyss hits Xbox and Steam on January the 25th. It actually looks kind of cool. Probably PC exclusive. It's not even shocking. I just think it's kind of weird that you would do an Xbox Developer Direct and draw attention to that. But again, Xbox doesn't seem to care about upsetting the Xbox audience. Yeah, see, we're already seeing tweets like this. Let me show you. I don't know what we're going to talk about with Mike. Maybe just talk about the show. People are already doing this. Xbox Series X 2024 versus PlayStation 2016. Xbox should be embarrassed. Again, I think it's a stylization thing. Like, I think it's a style choice. Like, I don't think they wanted Indy to necessarily look like an Uncharted game. Like, there's a stylization going on. Like, his hair looks good, his skin looks good, his coat looks good. I don't know. I don't think those comparisons are helpful. Henry Heck says, Visions of Mana perked my ears up. He says, Indiana Jones and Avowed are going to bang on PSVR 2 next holiday season. Here's your indie VR game, 9 out of 10 by most reviewers. That's Oculus, though. Eye of the Temple. My biggest issue with indie was the facial capture. Their faces didn't look right when talking. And that's not okay in a narrative-driven game. I don't know if I consider it a narrative-driven game, though, from what they showed us. There's certainly story, but it looked more driven by, like... It looked more like the story would be at the level of... like a Wolfenstein or something. Hellblade 1 cost $10 million to make. Hellblade 2 cost $15 million to make. Thanks to Microsoft for pumping $5 million more into the game and making it digital only to cut costs. Yeah, Red Dragon says he's talking about the Hellblade 2 thing. He says this is I probably already know it's not going to sell well and not worth the money. There's a reason they won't show unscripted gameplay. MASH! This late in the day, what are you doing, brother? A 10 bomb up to 63. You're crazy, bro. You're crazy. We do have a stretch goal, guys. Today would be a great day to kind of go crazy at the end, really reward that loyalty. A lot of new people were in chat. You guys did unlock and a Friday Night with Madam all access. So everybody gets to come, gifted members, everybody, because you guys hit 2750. If you hit 3,000 members before the end of the month, then we will call the last Friday of the month Fight Night, where you guys can fight me. We'll pick you will be able to beat me up in a fighting game. Yeah, like look at this. Is there no first quarter game then? They don't have a first quarter game, right? May, fall. This isn't even on Xbox, so that makes sense, right? That's PC. This is Xbox. That's fine. Same quarter. And then Indiana Jones is probably a winter release. Or that's probably fourth quarter release, third quarter, second, third, fourth. So second, third, and fourth quarters are taken care of. First, I don't think they're having anything in first quarter. Why'd they have to make indie first person? I mean, it's the developer. Yeah, they've confirmed that Troy Baker is playing Indiana Jones in the Great Circle. It's probably because it's what the developer is more familiar with, and they probably also wanted to avoid comparisons to Uncharted. DK Baker bumps the line to 64. Thank you very much. Power World, Persona 3. I'm talking about first party. As you know, the one thing I'm worrisome is the first-person gunplay and movement. Yeah, but it's from the guys that made Wolfenstein. It'll be fine. Like, I think the first person will be fine. It's Wolfenstein. The whip didn't look great. I thought the whip looked good. Well, I think what we'll do tomorrow is we'll kick off the day. We'll kick off the day with The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. And then I'll probably talk about the dev direct with Mike, unless something else major has happened. Derek Strickland tweets with an image here, and it says, looks like Indiana Jones won't release on PlayStation. Yet. Yet. I think anything's fair game once they bring one game, right? If they bring Sea of Thieves, okay? If they bring Sea of Thieves, if they bring Hi-Fi Rush, then... right? Then it's like, well, anything's fair game. It's just a matter of time. You know, wait a year. You know? Bungie expands to 1,400 employees. That sounds risky. Lou Ryan says, I think the runtime of Hellblade 2 is why they're so protective of uncut gameplay. That and the talk of combat changes makes me feel like it leans a bit more supermassive than action combat. Still be great, but yeah, we'll see. People are agreeing that Avowed looks stiff. I kind of want to... Can I edit my post? Yeah, edit post. Got it. Looks better. But combat is stiff. Eight plus hours and you can't show 5 minutes? I don't even need 5 minutes. I need 1 minute. I need 1 minute of her walking in a room and fighting a couple of guys. I need the room to be well lit so I can see what the frick is going on. That's all I need. That's it, dude. I don't feel like I'm being some entitled gamer brat. You know? Is Sea of Thieves coming to PS5? Yes, I'm very confident that Sea of Thieves is coming to PS5. I have it on very good authority that that is happening. Yes. They've even kind of indicated that Season 11 going into Season 12 is going to be a bit of a turning point for the game. Season 11 is going to be their last sort of base game expansion, and from here on out, seasons are going to be more about like sandbox updates. So I feel like they're kind of putting that game on a cruise control to EOL. Halo just dropped in. What's wrong? Nothing. I'm just disappointed in the lack of raw, uncut gameplay of Hellblade 2. That's my biggest concern right now. Hellblade 2 is my most anticipated game of the year. I thought Indiana Jones looked great, fun, cool art style. Looks like it's going to be a fun game. Avowed looked better. The combat still, I think, looks kind of stiff and kind of weird. Visions of Mana, I thought looked great. I was like really kind of hoping for some co-op. And then Ara History Untold. Kind of interesting to have that in an Xbox developer direct, and it's not an Xbox game, it's a PC game, but like it's not coming to Xbox, you know what I mean? Not a big deal. I think it's okay to have that diversity, but Oh, when would Sea of Thieves come to PlayStation? I think early this year. Steven Totillo heard that. Steven Totillo heard that it's coming early this year. And then the new season of Sea of Thieves is on the 23rd, which is in like 5 days. And so I wonder if they're going to get... How long does a season typically last, right? So season 11... hang on. Season 11 in Sea of Thieves. Oh, that's the last one. I'm sorry. Hang on. Season 10. So season 10 released in October 19th. So October to November, November to December, December to January. So 3 months. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if we see Sea of Thieves land on PlayStation in March with the 12th season. Right? Season 11 is about to start, and it's the last sort of base game expansion. Season 12 is just going to be sandbox updates. So like what I feel like they're going to do is like this is going to be the last season that sort of arrives as like an expansion level update. And then in March, when they roll over into season 12, that's when they'll release the whole game on PlayStation. That's a prediction I'm willing to make. That sounds like a good way to do it. Like their community guy literally said, he said, season 11, he says, we see season 11 as the last of the core expansions of the game and how you play it. Season 12 will add new sandbox mechanics and so on and so on. April? No, it would be January to February, February to March. Oh, no, you're right. March to April. It would be, I'm sorry, you're right. It would be like April 20-something. So yeah, April. You're correct. I could see Sea of Thieves coming to PlayStation 5 April. Or also, like, PlayStation 4, right? It might not have been layoffs. Yeah, it's kind of weird to lay off 100 people and then to hire a bunch more. Maybe that's why they got so ticked off when I was like, kind of like, oh well. Everybody got laid off last year. Every Lost Ark, Raiders of the Lost Ark film released on June 12th in the USA. Would it coincide with that? No, I don't think so. I don't think they would release Indiana Jones in June. That's, you know, it's right after, I don't think they would do that. I think Indiana Jones is going to land in the fourth quarter, probably like a winter, like a holiday release. That makes more sense to me. Okay. I think that's what we'll do tomorrow. My thought was Hellblade, May 21st, Indie, July, August, Avowed, October, November. No, if Indie was coming in the summer, they would have said that. They would have said that. Indie's in risk of not landing this year, in my mind. They had no problem putting summer, fall. He's the only one. He's the only game that they didn't give a time frame. So I would think if he shows up, it's fourth quarter, it's a holiday release. I would say he's in risk of not making it. If he was coming in the summer, they would have said it. Summer's really close. It's 6 months away. I mean, that's not that long in the development world. So if they were going to do a summer release of that game, they would 100% would have put summer. Because you'd have, the May release, summer release, fall release, It makes more sense that May is their second quarter release. Then there'll be a third quarter release in the fall, and then Indie will be their fourth quarter release. That makes more sense to have the second, third, and fourth quarters covered. The first quarter isn't covered. I think they were counting on something for first quarter. That's my guess. My guess is that they were counting on something for the first quarter. They were counting on, I don't know, Towerborn or, something so that they could have done a shadow drop or hey, this game comes out in 2 weeks or something. I think that's probably what they were counting on, and maybe something happened. That would be my guess. The calendar kind of doesn't make any sense. It's like you guys said a game every quarter. Something didn't make it. Something got bumped. And Towerborn kind of came out of nowhere and said, oh, we can't wait for you to play our game later this year. I think they thought, I wasn't the only one speculating that they were going to be a shadow drop at the Direct. I think they were kind of hearing that they were getting some heat. Yep, it's going to be them. It's going to be them. There was also that game called Kiln that everybody was saying was going to show up and be a shadow drop. And it wasn't there. So maybe it got bumped. Who knows? There's no way to know. So, 33 Immortals, Towerborn, and Double Fine. You mean Double Fine? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where the Kiln game is from Double Fine. Towerborn said later this year. 33 Immortals, we don't have a release window. And then Dungeons of Hinterberg, we don't have a release window for that either, I don't think. So, we will kick off tomorrow with The Last of Us Part 2 gameplay. I'll play that, for an hour or so. And then we'll roll that over into a talk show with Mike. We'll probably just do a reaction to the Developer Direct. I think that'll be fun. That'll be a fun way to end the day. And if you guys want to go crazy tomorrow, now would be a perfect time to slam home 10 or 11 more members, and then I'll owe 5 and help us get a little bit closer to the stretch goal of 3,000. You guys crushed it today. Let's see where we stand currently with the member count. We are currently 2 members shy of 2,800. You guys are really, really close, because 200, you don't even need 200, because every 100 I gift 20. So you don't even need that. You only need about 180. And we'll get there. We will get there. And then that means the last Friday of the month will be a fight night where you guys can beat me up in a fighting game. So. I'm going to put. Where is that? Yeah. Hang on a second. Where's the end date? I need to roll the end date back. Save that. There we go. Yo, one from DK Bager, making it really easy for a 10 bomb. He's tempting somebody. Come on, boys. Let's end the day with 75 and 5 from me. Let's do it. Let's do it. What else? Yeah. Let's do that one too. Okay. If you haven't tried it, at least give it a go before you poo on it. What are you talking about? Last of Us 2 makes me want to play golf for some weird reason. Oh, stop it. Where's Doom, though? Should be time for a Doom game. Well, I think they like to use the developer direct for games that we kind of already know are coming. Games that are, coming soon. So I think they like to do that. I think you use like a big reveal like a Doom or something. I think you use like the summer showcase for that. So all right, you guys have until DK Bager's membership at the top drops off. Oh, it just dropped off. I was going to say, you guys have I'm going to give you a little bit more time to drop the 10 bomb, and then I'll drop my 5 bomb, and then we'll get the heck out of here. But DK Bager's, his member already dropped. So that's the plan for tomorrow. The Last of Us Part 2 remaster in the morning. I've never played the game, so I'm very excited to dive in. I obviously am not worried about spoilers, really, because I know in general what happens. But I am excited to play it for the very first time. I missed out on it in 2020, and I played the remake of Part 1 recently to get ready, and I really, really liked it. And then we will do a talk show with Mike. We'll sort of walk through our thoughts on the developer direct. I'm sure he'll have some opinions about Indiana Jones as well as I will, because we're kind of from that era. Those are kind of our style games. And so that should be a really, really fun day. And then tomorrow night, we'll be hanging out with Madam. I'll try to find something fun for us to play. Maybe something with you guys. Who knows? Maybe Jackbox or something. That way we can kind of involve everybody. So, interesting info. John Carmack showed the Unreal Engine VR mod to the ID Software team, and they're potentially looking at official ports. Really? That's interesting. So, all right, I'm gonna go. I want to go play some Prince of Persia, since I don't have to record a video or write a monologue for tomorrow. I might record a short though. Maybe? No. I don't know. We really need a short for like my thoughts on the developer direct. I don't think that's a good short. Okay. Yeah. And if you guys enjoyed today's shows, go back and leave a comment on the show about what the CEO of Xbox said about this direct. Go back and leave a comment. That's really helpful to the videos. It kind of... Our videos don't end up with a lot of comments because most everybody that's subbed and loyal ends up talking in the chat, so there's no reason to go leave a comment. So that's always super helpful. Once the live video is no longer a live video, for you guys to go back and leave a comment. Thank you to people that continue to do that. I greatly appreciate it. And make sure you guys turn on notifications. If you're one of the lucky people that got a membership today, or you're a long-standing member or a fairly new member, make sure you get into the Discord. That's open to everybody. Link up your YouTube and Discord accounts, and you have the entire Discord open to you. And that way you can connect and be a part of everything that we're doing. Sample it. If you like it, you can pick up the membership yourself. All right? Thank you guys so much for everything you do, and I will see you tomorrow.